What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcast. It's time for a little bit more counsel. I'm not sure about this one. I really, sincerely am not sure about this game. You know, it's got its little quirks and it's got its little flaws, like the voice acting on the main character is pretty abysmal, and like the animations for the talking and the mouth sync are pretty bad, but aside from that, I'm really intrigued by the idea of the game, and so I want to go in a little bit further and kind of see what we find. Because while it has its own little flaws, like, I think there might be a gem in here, you know what I mean? And so we're going to keep looking around.
I couldn't have hoped for better.
Oh, good. Well, we got some more royal jelly right there, just in case.
This chest might belong to Duchess Hillsborough.
Duchess Hillsborough, you say? Apparently it belongs. What's down this way? Is there anything over here that, like, I should be interested in? Like, what's up with this? Ooh, there's a gate. I can open the gate, or I can step back. Open it? Hopefully it's not like a demon gate that's going to wind up with...
I'll never get it open barehanded.
Yeah. Oh, I can use the iron bar. Or I can pick the lock. Yeah, use the iron bar. See if you can pry it open real fast. I'm sure breaking and entering is probably the best way to ingratiate yourself to your host. Nice
Clearly
and early
I'm
on in the
for
trip.
manual labor. Let's see if I can get it open another way.
Okay, so apparently that didn't work. We need agility in order to force it open, or we can pick the lock right there. Let's pick it. Like, we don't have a whole lot of energy points left, which is a bit of a bummer. That means in future conversations, we're not going to be able to sway things the way that we want them to sway. But maybe we'll use some honey or something. That'll fix it up. So honey's going to be on our 1 key right there, and it'll give us 2 effort points back. I don't know how careful I should be being with some of these resources. What's over here? What's this? So there's some more honey right there. We got an extra royal jelly.
It's like a pistol case, but it's empty. I don't know if this has anything to do with you, Mother, but if it does, at least now you're armed. Just like in my vision. And none of it's telling me anything useful.
That's because gun boxes can't talk. If they could, I'm sure they'd be squealing right now, but nope, not capable of speech.
This wharf is used as storage for a lot of barrels.
What's in the broken barrel?
Uh-huh. What have we here? It's cannon powder.
Yeah, let's examine the cannon powder.
The powder's wet. Not surprising, given the dampness of the dock. It's unusable now. I don't know what the person who left this barrel like this had in mind, but it's a waste. Apparently, someone on this island has gone through a whole lot of trouble to arm themselves. I really must find you, dear Mother, and quickly, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like your mom's doing. She took a pistol, and then she used the iron bar over there, which it said was blackened with gunpowder, and then she pried that thing open right there, or she smashed it open, and she took the powder she needed in order to prime the shot, would be my guess. Amber fragments. You found an amber fragment. Every time you find 4, you increase your maximum effort points by 1. Good stuff. I don't know why amber makes me feel the need to expend more effort, but I guess I can live with that. I'm going to take some honey right now, just to make sure that I've got enough effort points to do something if things get dire and desperate. But other than that, I think we've just about looked at... What is that?
An inscription. En nesis, mi fili quantilia produncia mundus ergatur.
You shouldn't... Yeah, I was going to say, you shouldn't need linguistics to do Latin. Anybody with a scientific background in the 1700s who was classically trained or anything like that would have exclusively done a lot of work in Latin. It was just kind of the side effect of education of the time. They taught everybody Latin. Yeah, translate the text.
You don't know, my son, how little wisdom the world is governed with. I tend to agree.
So we found an immunity. Lord Mortimer is immune to conviction. So I think that I think conviction was a side effect of the detective. If you took the detective path, there's a distinct possibility there that, like, you may not be able to use one of your main abilities to try and work on the guy. Then again, we haven't even met him yet, so it might be a while, dude. That's a hell of a door right there.
How did Mortimer manage to build his manor at the top of a rocky outcrop?
Is that like Mega Zeus? Like, what is that a statue of? It is Zeus, Lord of the living room.
Impressive.
Ah, my son. I was looking for you.
What can I do for you, Your Eminence?
I wanted to ask you. You are the son of Sara de Ricci, aren't you? You see, your mother and I were supposed to meet here on this very spot. I was supposed to hand her a very important envelope. But I haven't seen her.
If only Mother had told me why she was coming here. Anyway, I ought to take the envelope. It might have something to do with her disappearance. Listen, if it will help, you can always give it to me.
So during a confrontation, you have to go through several steps while being as persuasive as possible. Confrontations have consequences on the rest of the story, so don't hesitate to use your skills. Okay.
Thank you, my son. I'll bear that in mind. I'd rather deal with her directly. Don't take it personally. Would you happen to know if your mother has arrived yet?
Yeah, she's been here for several weeks now. Sounds good to me. The other one seems a little bit forceful, and I doubt it's going to work with somebody as high-ranking in the church as a cardinal. That's a guy who has a lot of authority, and so if he's really that susceptible to bullying, I doubt he would have rose that high up in the structure. In fact, he's probably the one doing the bullying at that position.
Certainly, Your Eminence. Mother got here some time ago. I was hoping to find her when I arrived, but given the hour, she must be asleep by now.
Right. I shall see her tomorrow, then.
By the way, Your Eminence, I wasn't aware you knew my mother.
Ah, if you only knew, my son. I hold your mother in the highest regard. She has rendered great service to the church, and her help is invaluable. I hope that you will follow in her footsteps.
Only she had told me where she was headed.
Nonetheless, our exchanges have always been discreet, and I should like them to remain as such. If your mother wishes to speak to you about us one day, I will not mind if she does so.
That is commendable. But as we work together on a daily basis, it is surely just an oversight.
Most certainly. You said you work together. What do you do exactly?
I can fess up to being members of the Golden Order. That doesn't seem like a great plan, though. I can say it's a professional secret, or I can say that our business is strictly confidential. I will probably blow some points right here because they said that this was important. So,
Be it Mother or myself, our motto has always been discretion in all things. And to promise to never betray a word of honor. Was your secret safe with Mother? It will be even more so with me.
You have convinced me. The mystery with which your mother manages her business proves that she carries your motto close to her heart. Your words seem sincere, my son.
All the same, it bothers me to see you in a quandary, Your Eminence. Is there any other solution? Look, if it's of any help, you can always leave your envelope with me and I'll give it to her as soon as I see her.
I hesitate. Up till now, we have always dealt with her in person, and that has always been successful. Do you think I should give it to you?
so I can pretend that I don't want it if I have manipulation too. Oh, really? That's free? That's fine.
Look, you seem hesitant. The simplest thing to do is just to give it to her when you see her. After all, it's not that urgent.
Yes. I mean, yes, it's urgent. I mean, what if we don't find each other here on the island?
Though I don't know yet when I'll be leaving. I might not be staying for very long. What to do? Can you see a solution? Come on. Just give me the letter for crying out loud.
I cannot run the risk alone. I am going to trust you. You seem like an honest man.
Bingo.
Listen to me, my child. If I give you the letter, can you promise me before God that no one other than your mother will read it?
So, confrontation on the last step. You have to convince the person you are talking to by giving a positive answer. If you give a bad answer, the step will repeat itself until either you have a right one or you run out of blunders. Well, we've saved most of our blunders. We've been a wonder about not making blunders. I can promise with diversion, I can say no worries, or I can say that I don't believe in God. I am an occultist after all.
I swear by the Almighty God to honor the promise that no one but my mother shall cast her gaze upon your letter.
Good. Listen, let's stop there. I'm going to tell you a secret, Monsieur Derice. Your mother and I are organizing the escape of a large number of French priests who face a massacre organized by the accursed Republican tribunals. The church is literally being bled like a beast. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine. She has made the services of your order available to us by organizing the priests' safe passage across the borders. Even if she does not share all our convictions, she always provided assistance. Young man, you can be proud to be her son. Be it only for her sake. Always respect your name. Here, the letter I spoke of. It includes a list of about 15 names ready for departure. Be quick. Remember to tell Sarah when you see her that time is short.
Well played. I'll decide later when I'm alone whether to look at what it contains.
I mean, without his seal, though, we're not going to be able to reseal it. Like, what if later on he's like, show me the letter, and then the seal's all broken and everything? You'd be like, ah! Many clues and items are hidden. Some of them have an impact on your adventure, so don't hesitate to look for them. Okay. I will not hesitate then. So it looks like I can go over this way. There's some stairs that go upwards right there. There's something on the table. What is that? We got Devil's Thorn. It grants you the Exalted state. You temporarily see immunities and vulnerabilities affecting a dialogue choice in a conversation. You cannot carry more than 5 of these. It's probably a good thing to know if you're going into a conversation blind and you don't have anything prepared. My effort points are pretty horrifically out right now. And that means that if we get pressed up against a wall, we're just going to miss out on things. And I don't like that. What is this?
Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans by Plutarch. A biography of the great men. Open to Brutus's page. Caesar, stabbed by multiple blows at once, sees Brutus raise the dagger on him. Then, covering his head with his robe, he delivers himself to the arms of the conspirators. Nice family. Let's keep it. Might come in handy someday.
Like, are we just looting people's ancient manuscripts? Like, we're inside their house right now just stealing books? I'm pretty sure there was no movable type at this point. Was there movable type at this point? Can't remember what the date was on movable type. Yeah, there was. Never mind, because it was used in the Revolution. I don't know. There's movable type and everything, but books are still, like, valuable. Like, I don't know. It seems like one of those things that, like, you would only have books if you were, like, wealthy back then. So, manuscripts allow you to educate yourself during an adventure. At the start of each quest, you can choose what to read, and you gain permanent skill points. Oh, so picking up books is, like, super important. You really, really, really want to have books. I want to see what's going on with this couch over here. What's up with all this stuff? Can I do anything over here? Also, what's her name's by the fire? I don't know if I should just, like...
I thought my chimney was big, but this one is beyond belief.
It's the least one can say. I've been longing for a warm fire for ages.
Since I set foot on the island, I haven't ventured more than 2 yards away from it.
Have you also just arrived?
Oh, late morning, I'd say.
Louis, come join us. Monsieur, may I introduce you to Monseigneur His Eminence, Cardinal Piaggi. He joins us straight from Rome.
Oh, just call me Your Eminence. It's simpler.
George Washington, President of the United States of America.
Delighted at last to make your acquaintance, Mr. President.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. President. Louis Moras de Riche. It is an honor to meet you.
Young man, let's keep it simple, please. Let us forget our fancy titles. Nice to meet you, Louis.
I should imagine you never thought you'd be in such company.
I must admit that I didn't. It's the first time that I've ever met so many illustrious personalities.
And you haven't seen anything yet. Generally, when Lord Mortimer organizes one of his receptions, there are over a dozen people here.
They can't all be here yet, and you'll see, most of the time there's only the upper crust.
And I noticed you were already getting to know His Eminence at the entrance. It's the perfect place to build up a network. What were you talking about, if you forgive my indiscretion?
We were talking about my mom.
At the risk of disappointing you,
We weren't conspiring in our corner, sir. His Eminence was simply telling me that he knew my mother and how much he held her in high esteem.
It so happens that Monsieur de Riche's mother is to join us.
Oh, pity. No scrumptious gossip or juicy tidbits, unmentionable secrets, or even money matters. But you'll see, it will come. Despite all the goodwill in the world, you can't stop people scheming left and right around here.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, my friends, do any of you know the reason why we're here this time?
Not in the slightest. As for me, I've been invited by Sir Horn, a close friend of Lord Mortimer, but I do not know the reason why.
You see, Louis, every time Lord Mortimer organizes a reception, he always finds a moment to set up a chat with all the guests.
During which time we remake the world.
Accompanied by gallons of absinthe and cussing. I'll leave you to imagine the result.
So, if I understand rightly, Monsieur de Richet, you've come out here to join your mother. For what reason, exactly?
She's missing?
Lord Mortimer asked me to come as quickly as possible to find my mother, who seems to have disappeared during her stay here.
Ah,
I took the first boat, and here I am.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be, sir. It's not your fault.
Seriously, though, I know your mother well. Stay behind with me afterwards, and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Ooh, I can click on things. Nope, that's not the one. There we go. They caught me by surprise there.
Lord, Washington is wearing the emblem of the Grand Master of the Golden Order. It's the highest distinction of the Order in the United States. It puts him on par with my mother. He must really know his stuff when it comes to the occult.
Good evening, my friends.
Holy shit. That's the man for my vision.
An urgent case has delayed our host, Lord Mortimer. He can't be present this evening, and he sends his deepest apologies.
He's asked me here and he hasn't even turned up? Great start.
I'm not gonna say
And
anything.
now, my dear guests, a light meal is served in the small salon. For those who would like to, you're invited to follow me into the next room.
My dear fellow, you must have read my thoughts. I shall follow.
We'll have to be careful not to make too much noise. One of Lord Mortimer's guests is relaxing.
Oh, we shall be quiet.
Don't take it the wrong way, Sir Holm, but I have already eaten. Thus, I shall be happy to remain by the fireside.
If you don't mind, Gregory, I should like to keep Mr. Washington company.
Please feel at home. And you, sir?
If I stay with Washington, we'll be able to speak about my mother. But on the other hand, I'd like to learn more about this home. I saw him in my vision.
Let's stay and talk to Washington. Like, it's one of those things where, like, as an American, I kind of feel like if George Washington walked into the room tomorrow and was like, hey, man, I need your help with something, like, you kind of have to go along with it since he, like, started our country. Like, I don't know. I guess we'll stay with George Washington.
Let's see what Washington has to say.
Sir, if you don't mind, I shall stay here.
Do exactly as you please, young man.
Louis, thank you for staying. Just like you, when I arrived this morning, I found out that Sarah had gone missing. I know your mother well. Don't worry. Emily is from the English branch of the Golden Order.
And President Washington is in fact the leader of the Order in the United States.
I didn't know.
Sorry to have made you wait, but I didn't want to speak in front of the others.
You did well. Secrecy and discretion are the pillars of our organization.
If I can help in any way at all, please don't hesitate to ask, my lad. And if you have any other questions, now's the time.
Tell me more about my mom, since apparently everybody on this island has, like, weird relationships with my mom. So, you know, that's an awkward position to put me in personally. But, Oh, that's not tell me more about that mom. It's tell me more about Mortimer. Sorry, my brain was filling in letters for me. Where does Emily know my mom from?
And you, Emily, what do you think of my mother?
I only know her through the Order. The one time we met, we only exchanged a few words in a corridor of Parliament.
And was the exchange courteous or impassioned?
I'm not sure if I understand.
Was there any reason for her to be angry with you?
Under other circumstances, I would slap your face for even asking. But I'll put your lack of tact down to her disappearance. Know that your mother is a woman I would love to work with. Her reputation is entirely deserved. Mr. Washington will be able to tell you more.
Mr. Washington, you seem to be very familiar with my mother.
Like, I feel like she went 0 to 100 in that conversation really fast. Like, she decided to play coy, and then she got an answer she didn't like, and so technically it's her fault. Like, I'd be like, hey, I tried to be tactful in the first place. You can't accuse me of having a lack of tact. If I sugarcoat the hell out of the words up front, and then you're like, I don't understand your meaning, I can't help the fact that you're dumb. Like, that doesn't... Like, if you can't work your way through vocabulary, I don't know where we go from here. How did you meet my mom?
Where did you first meet her?
I met Sarah during the War of Independence on American soil. She was introduced to me by a mutual acquaintance, and I must say that her sound advice prevented me from making some terrible mistakes. She may not be a soldier, but believe me, she deserves a statue as much as Lafayette does.
Well, I didn't see that one coming. There's no doubt Mother has many secrets that are still hidden.
Right. Would it be too much if I asked you a few more questions?
Not at all. Go ahead. But I can't promise I'll remember everything.
May I ask, when you saw each other, what did you talk about?
Apparently I don't know anything about politics. The Golden Order?
When she came to the U.S., did you exchange ideas about the Golden Order?
Exactly. What's more, she was essential in helping set up the American branch of the Order. I would never have become its leader without her help. We are a new country, and to achieve our democratic ideals, we need to count on discrete powers such as our organization.
Thank you, sir. I was hoping to speak with Lord Mortimer. At least now I have some information, thanks to you.
I repeat, Lord Mortimer is a man of his word. You won't be disappointed. And I am persuaded that your mother's research is his main concern.
One time I got disappointed because I was unloading the dryer and a sock fell on the garage floor and it was just a little damp because it had been raining and there was like a temperature shift. And if that was enough to disappoint me, I'm pretty sure I'm really, really, really easily disappointed. And so I wouldn't speak too highly of Mortimer just yet. I bet he'll figure out a way.
I wonder if Mother is still on the island. Could she not have taken a boat and left?
I don't see how. No vessel can moor closer than 200 yards. Not to mention the permanent presence of staff and servants. There is one strange thing, I grant you. This island is barely the size of Delaware, and despite that, no one has been able to locate your mother.
So my mother still must be on the island.
Don't worry, Louis. I'm sure nothing bad has happened to her.
Yes, I hope not.
Careful, they're coming back.
Well, I am impressed with all this splendor.
But don't spend too much time with Mr. Washington, my dear, or you'll lose your pretty accent. You seem to be intrigued by that statue.
Absolutely. It is remarkable.
Lord Mortimer is fond of atypical works of art. I won't disguise the fact that I find it all a little megalomaniacal. But I must say, he does have some outstanding pieces.
Oh, there's pieces. That one. When the timer is over, well, I was clicking on the thing.
So, who was that young lady with you?
Elizabeth Adams, Mr. President. She would have liked to have stayed with us, but the poor thing is exhausted.
Elizabeth Adams?
Miss Adams is here to rest. You have perhaps already come across her in the corridors. She arrived a few days ago.
I perceived her, but we weren't introduced.
Rest assured, she is not here for the same reasons as yourselves. Consequently, I'm counting on your indulgence. On that note, it's very late. You must be exhausted. The servant will accompany you to your rooms.
Yeah, I missed that opportunity because I keep taking my hand off the mouse to like sit back and watch this like a movie, and then it keeps springing things on me, and I'm like, no! Oh well. Hopefully it wasn't important.
Ladies, gentlemen, I bid you all good night. Mr. President, Your Eminence, Duchess, you have the same rooms as usual. You, Monsieur de Richet, will find your room at the end of the corridor.
Well, my friends, I am bone tired. I am off to my bed. See you in the morning.
Good night, sir. I shall do likewise.
Louis, I shall see you in the morning. Sleep well.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Oh, man. It's been quite a day. Right. Where is my room?
Alright, so we gotta find our room here. It could be left, it could be right, it could really be anywhere. So let's just get moving and watch out for little white spots that maybe we can loot. This room is for Napoleon Bonaparte. Something tells me I'm a little out of my league in this place. We've also got Jacques Peroux. Let's see. Ooh, there's things over here.
A few leaves out of an old encyclopedia.
I feel like the voice actor for this character needs to work on his enunciation. Like, he misses consonants and things all the time. I don't know. Like, I keep hearing him. He, like, skips over consonants every now and again. I don't know if he had to, like, record, like, at high speed just to get it done or what happened there, but that seems like one of those things I wouldn't have included in the final cut of the audio track. Like, voice actors doing obvious things like skipping consonants. 150 academics and scholars contributed to the production of this first synthesis of human knowledge. So it gives us a point in science, a point in linguistics, and a point in erudition, if I can assemble the entire thing. That's pretty rad. Parallel Lives is that book that we picked up by Plutarch, except it says Plutarch. It's good old Plutarch. A series of biographies. It's like Plutarch's, like, damaged cousin. Like, my name is Plutarch! Like, providing much information on their lives and the origin of their greatness. There's some typos in here. There's definitely some typos around. Let's see, does any of that stuff do anything? Like, I picked up some traits, too. Like, I got a talent over here. I gained a point in agility. Decreases your... Oh, really? Decrease your effort points to 0 during a quest. Okay, so that gave me a free point in agility? Let me look. Oh, it did. Cool. It gave me a free point in agility right there. If only I could get 3 or 4 more of them. What other stuff is in here? So, you gain 1 extra effort point when you use royal jelly. That's pretty good. There's a lot of that stuff in there. Well, damn, there's a bunch of these that look pretty useful. You gain 2 point if you succeed in 2 confrontations. So I got to succeed in 1 more confrontation. Gotcha. We've got a golden elixir right there. Cures all your negative alterations. You can't have more than 5. All right, good to know. I doubt it's going to let me go back downstairs.
Decorum guide.
Rules of civility and decent behavior. A treatise on good manners, intended for the Jesuit College of La Flèche. Or La Flèche, I don't know how to say it. 1 skill point in etiquette if we actually read that in between chapters. But yeah, it looks like we're just about out of time for the day. My name is Splattercat. This game is called The Council. Let me know what you think about it. I'm really actually interested in your comments down in the description because I want to hear what other people's take on the game is. Like, the bad voice acting and the bad lip syncing are the 2 things that keep popping out at me. But aside from that, it's got me interested in the intrigue and what's going on. Like, I keep sitting back in my chair to watch it like a film, essentially, because I want to know what's going to happen. There's Johann von Wollner, okay? Like, I keep doing that where I keep sitting back and watching it like a film, basically, with my arms crossed or whatever, you know, as things are happening. And I think that's probably a good thing for what the engagement level of the game is going for. So anyways, I'll see y'all later. Thanks for stopping on in. If you want to get the game for yourself, there is a link for you down in the description. If you liked this video, you should absolutely hit that like button. It's the best way to help the channel out and keep me afloat as a content creator. It helps out more than you know. And then from there, if you wanted to stop on by live, you can do that every day at twitch.tv/SplatterCatGaming. All right, I'll see y'all later. Hi, do everybody, and thanks for stopping on in.
Honey, the remedy of the gods.